went together, and she was about 16 and a half then, because I'd been 24, 25, you know, so I'd been through war in the army when I was 21, and so we went together then, and she says, "Won't you get married?" And I says, "Married?" She says, "Yes." I said, "Wait till you're 18. She said, "Will you get married? Can you get married when you're 18? I said, "Yes." I said, "We'll get married when you're 18. So we went together until she's 18. Just before her 18th birthday, we went into Dr. North and had a blood test. She got married. She was married on the 20th. She was 18 on the 25th, and the 26th she was married. Yeah, so I thought that was pretty good, you know. We never had an argument, no sir. Yeah, and it never did, and it don't now mean nothing to me. You know, happiness more than everything. We had it, so. We used here before she passed away, a couple of weeks. We used to sit on that couch. She'd have her head on my shoulder sometimes 3 or 4 hours right this thing. Well, we had a happy marriage.
Well, when I met Chris, I was 15, riding my horse. I couldn't see very well. I had buck teeth and pigtails bobbing up and down. And he came driving by in the car.
That's right, that was up in Union, back in 1972.
Well, he's from Switzerland, and I grew up here. And he spent his summers in Maine.
Yeah.
And
in fact, the key thing that year in 1972, instead of just coming for the summer, we actually came over to spend the whole year to fix the house up in Thomaston. And that's how I happened to meet you, because I was there for my last year of high school, and I went to Georgia Valley.
So we were both really shy, and it was very innocent.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was at that time.
And so we hung out together and threw seaweed at each other, and he called me the sea hag.
We went to family picnics, beach parties.
And then when we went back to Switzerland, we wrote letters.
We did, because yeah, I was back there. I went back there, I worked there for a couple of years, and I went to college. Went to Florida for 4 years, and Crystal went out west.
So we only saw each other about once a year. Most of the 8 years we wrote letters. And I addressed my letters as Crystal the Sea Hag, and he addressed his letters as Christopher the Great. And he would go on and on about poetry and the fields and the forest and the whole thing in his letters. And I took my letters and I soaked them in really cheap perfume. And I'd hang them up on the line to dry. And then I'd send them to you. What did your parents say when you got the letters in the mail?
Here you go, we have another letter for you.
He looked pastel pink, blue, and really stunk of cheap perfume. So by the time we got a little more serious, you had a bag about, I don't know, this tall of letters.
Yeah, pretty much that trash bag. Right. And I'm not sure what happened to that bag of letters at this point.
I asked him to burn them. I was embarrassed. Somebody would find them. Now I think they'd be kind of funny because they were pretty innocent.
Well, they were definitely,
anyway.
Yeah, they were actually kind of interesting.
So that was 41 years ago, and we're still married. And we've always worked together, surprisingly, even when we worked for the same company. And now we still work together.
Well,
and you were married in Switzerland?
We're married in Switzerland, yeah.
In the post office.
In the post office of GEA, which is a small village.
So we asked us, he said, do we want the long spiel or the short spiel? It was the postman who married us, and he dusted off the table and he took down the chairs, and he said, you want the long spiel or the short? So we said, we'll go for the short spiel. And he married us, and then he put on his little cap and got on his bike and delivered the mail.
What was your first impression of each other?
Well, he had a scowl.
I had a bit of a scowl, but I don't know, I had a feeling that, I don't know, that you might be the one. I remember this, it was strange. I couldn't pin it down. But.
And I didn't have very good eyesight, I thought it was pretty cute.
I think that was a saving grace because at that time I had hair down to my shoulders and pimples.
So neither one of us were prizes, that's for sure.
And I had my striped pants.
Yeah, but yes, he had these pinstripe pants he bought in Rockwood for $1. And they were red, white, and blue stripes. They were really
I
great.
thought they were pretty cool.
And the glasses I wore, were held together with duct tape. And when I finally did get braces and get my teeth fixed, he said, oh, I'd like to buy teeth. So anyway.
What advice do you have for
Ah,
younger couples?
the younger couples, first thing I would say is find somebody that shares a lot of your interests. That's the key thing. And we're very compatible in a lot of the things we like to do. And that's number one. And number two is the younger you are when you meet, the more flexible you are. As you get older, you get, fixed in your ways and stuff like that. So it becomes a little harder, that's all. So you sort of grow together when you're young. So I'd say that'd be a big one.
Yeah, I think having things in common is really important because there's very little to fight about because we pretty much agree on everything, which is, even though we grew up in two different places.
Basically, I went out with him because he had a car. A nice orange Ranchero. So.
Yeah.
It was about October 19th, I think it was.
What, the first
19th,
date you went on?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
What was your first impression of each other?
I don't know, that's kind of hard. We just got along good, we just clicked.
Yeah. Well, my first impression was that he was kind of different because he used to wear these really pointy cowboy boots, and nobody up here used to wear cowboy boots at that time. So, so that was kind of different.
Yeah.
What did you do for your honeymoon?
We went to Union,
Maine.
Crawford Lake. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were living in Florida, so we were so young, we didn't have any money, and
Yeah, the whole trip was like the honeymoon, really.
yeah, we stayed in a camper on the lake and for a few days. It had this '57 Chevy, which it didn't have reverse, so everywhere we went, we had to make sure we could get out.
And what's your advice to younger couples?
Work through it.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Work through it. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it.
Yeah, you see so many people nowadays, they come to a little obstacle and they just throw their hands up and walk away. And they do that in marriage and they do that in jobs, and so that's really true.
Yeah. And become best friends. I think that's so important. To become best friends, know each other before you bring in all the life, the bills, and how you're going to support yourselves. And that's so important to, just don't dive into a relationship and move in together until you're become best friends. And the one thing I think is really cool is that we did grow up together. We were 20 when we got married. And it was just kind of fun to grow up together.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, we were 18, 17 when we met, and we basically grew up together. We were married 5 years before we had any children. Had lots of fun.